Hello, Dunbar colleagues. This is Summer Perry, your friendly PLD librarian, and I'm going to present to you today about something you can create in Adobe Spark, and that is the websites feature. Can get you some great graphics. So I love Adobe Spark. I think everyone should find their own Spark. I absolutely love Adobe Spark because it provides professional, great looking graphics. It is not overwhelming. The choices are there, but they're not overwhelming in that you don't have thousands and hundreds to pour over. They basically make you look good with their selections. And then when you have created what you want, there are multiple ways to share that. So we are all very busy people, but Adobe Spark makes us look good and makes us look like we're spending a lot of money on PR, which we're not. So to get started, you're going to go to spark.adobe.com. And Fayette County has been generous enough to purchase licenses for all of us. So I've already logged in. You will use the enterprise login. So make sure you click on the right hand side. It's going to say school account. Choose that. When you log in, it's going to ask you for your personal or enterprise. Be sure to use the enterprise login. This is the main page and where all the magic happens. So you can see up here, there are some suggested projects you can use. Webpage is the second one here. But this little plus button will also do that same thing. So either way, either thing you want to choose, it will get you started on a new project. I'm going to go ahead and click my plus button to show you the options. So here are all the different things you can do: a graphic / flyer, web page, video. I have made my library brand with this. So there's a couple of different things that you can do. So I'm going to go ahead and choose web page because that's what we're focusing on today. It does take a little bit to load. There's always these cute little sayings that come up and kind of give you inspiration for your own Spark. So I think that's kind of a cute thing while you're waiting. So you are taken to the main page to build your website. And by the way, when I say website, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a website you're going to use as a classroom website. I use websites to do my library updates. You can do different things on this. You could do a class newsletter. You could do updates for your parents. Students who are creating art portfolios, they could put pictures of their work here. You could do a lot of different things with these. So the magic happens here where I go to themes. So like I said, there are selections. This is where I have put in my colors that I like. And so they pre-populate with my chosen colors. But if I keep scrolling down, there are different types of themes that you can choose. While there are some selections, there aren't hundreds of them, so it's not overwhelming. So you can basically pick what kind of mood you're feeling in. Are you feeling in a storybook mood? I'm going to choose this one that says whimsy because it's always kind of fun. When you click on that, it's going to automatically change kind of the layout of the web page you're working in. So we're going to come back here and we're going to add a title. And I'm just going to call you'd call it whatever you want to, web page for PD purposes. Well, as you can see, I'm not having to pick fonts, although I can. I can go and make sure that it's a fancy font that I would like, but it is putting it to the basically the layout of the page and the style and the theme of the page. It is kind of matching it to my purpose there. Okay, so this gray is pretty plain and I kind of want to spice things up. So as you can see, when we start coming over here to our web page, there's this little plus down here. And if I click on that plus, I can add a photo. Spark is awesome. You can upload your own photo, of course, but you can also go to this find free photos. It looks in your Creative Commons. So basically, these are the license is already there for you. I think Unsplash is who they go through. And you don't have to worry about asking for permission, but hopefully you're not using this for commercial purposes anyway. Say, because I'm doing this for library, I want to do something with books. So I'm going to search for books. And then it's going to give me some various options to choose from. I am a color person, so I might choose this right here. And when I choose my particular picture, it's going to go ahead and insert it as my background. Um, you can see there after it is loaded, it gives you a nice crisp picture. And then my font is stands out against that as well. So there's a couple of different things you can do there. Now, with your picture, it now tells me to scroll to start writing my story. I want to start adding some content to my website. So say I want to add some text. I'm going to click my text box and I will add text here. Notice when you're typing, there are various options that'll come up. H1 and H2 will change those to headers. Quote makes it pop out like a quote box. You can do various levels. You can do bullet points, bolding, italicizing. You can add in a link if you would like to link to something. And then, of course, your format. Again, there are options, but they're not overwhelming kinds of options. Okay, now for my next section, I want to add a couple of photos. So I'm going to push my little plus. There's options to add simply a photo. I really enjoy the photo grid. So I'm going to click that to show you how that works. Um, for this, say I want to now find some pictures of libraries. So I'm going to search for library. I think that curved shelf is quite lovely. So I'm going to add this photo. I just click on it to add it. This is kind of a cool focal point. So I'm going to click there to add her. So it's just adding in each thing I click on. And by the way, if you don't like something, you can always delete it later. There is a nice perspective picture. There's one of those color pictures. And I'm going to do one more because this just looks artistic. Okay, so I've got a couple of photos in here now for my gallery. And you can kind of see the layout of what's going on. And if you look and you're like, actually, I don't really love this, the way it's working. If you click on that photo, you want to delete it out, you can do that. You can also change to where it's going to go. If you want this to be your focal photo, you can change it to the large photo. You can replace it with something else. So say I want to delete that, just push delete, it goes away, and it automatically reformats that grid for me. Anytime you want to come back to it, you can always edit the grid, but I'm going to push save up here in the right corner. And so now I've got my text, and then I've got my photo gallery below that. Okay. Next, I'm going to add. I could add a video. You can go from anywhere from YouTube. So any URL basically. So I'm going to add a video. I know that I have some library tutorials. So maybe I want to add in a link. So let me go grab that link. Okay, from my YouTube channel, I want to go ahead and add the instructions for PLD Library Curbside. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that link. And I want to make sure my parents and my students know how to do this. I'm going to go back to Spark. And I am going to paste my link right in there. And I'm going to save it. And now it's going to embed that particular YouTube video right within my page to where parents don't have to go to a different tab and find it. It's going to be right there for them. Another nice little thing that works here, it's called a button. And it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. If you create a button, it's going to give you some text. So say I want people to be able to click one place to go to my Mrs. Perry's YouTube tutorials. Sorry, I call them. I have a cutesy name for everything. So Miss Perry's YouTube tutorials, and I'm going back to my main video page. Okay, I have got my link for my YouTube tutorials. I'm going to Control C that, and then I'm going to head back to my web page, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my URL there. I can decide if I want it left aligned. I'm going to center it for right now, and I'm going to save that. And you can now see what you're going to get. It's basically going to be a link to my YouTube tutorials when you click there. The last thing I want to show you is the glide show. And the glide show basically just gives your web page an extra pop. And I've got books, I've got libraries. Let me do some photos of students. So I'm just going to choose some rando students. Here's some sitting here. Here's these students all sharing a computer, which is not suggested during this time. Um, Here's this guy being real excited about learning. Okay, so now I've got my glide show put together, and I am going to go ahead and save that. Now, when I scroll through my web page, you're going to see that I have all my different elements. And below the button, it starts my glide show. So it kind of gives it a smooth layout. And if I keep scrolling, it automatically changes picture, kind of gives it this cool layout. And it just makes you look good without you having to do much. The final thing I'm going to show you is the split layout. Split layout basically lets you add text on one side and an image over here. So I'm going to find an image of school. And oh, I like this one because there's a lot of color involved, and I like the rainbow there. And then I'm going to add some text over here, and I'm going to say, we are learning both in and out of school in 2020. And basically, I am done. So within the settings, you can allow it to show your header and footer. I like to do that. Basically, what that does when you publish your website, it's going to, at the very bottom, say that it's you that created it. You can preview. I always like this. Before I publish anything live, I like to see what it's going to look like on the other end. So I prefer preview for that. It's loading. Let me scroll back to my top to see what it's going to look like. And by the way, this looks great on a mobile device as well as on a desktop computer. So I've got my web page, I've got my text, got my photo gallery, got my video in there, I've got my button, and then my glide show. I'm just going to quickly go through the glide show. And then my split screen, and then at the bottom it has credited, this is lovely, it's credited all of the picture sources and then is giving me attribution at the bottom. So when you're done doing your preview, you can X out of that. Now I'm ready to share. So this is pretty easy. If you want to just publish a link, that's fine. That's what I normally do. It's very easy to do. Web page, PD is what I'll call this. If you have categories set up, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the author so you can see that it's done by me. It does include the photo credits and push create link. When I do that, again, it pops up with the cutesy little phrase, and then it is going to come up after it creates my link. It's going to give me a link that I can share with faculty, staff, parents, students, whoever may need it. Now, it has created my link. I can either just copy and send that out. I could share it on Facebook or Twitter. I could share it through Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, email, or I can also do an embed code. That's always nice if you like everything to be right there in one place. So basically, this is how you can use Adobe Spark and Webpages to make yourself look good. Happy creating, and we miss you all and can't wait till we're together again. Bye, Dunbar.